today I've got the wonderful Hannah. Hi, Hannah.
Hi.
And Hannah, you are the author of Climb. Now, I discovered this book, I think it was by Kathy Brodie on Early Years TV. She was showing it on there, I think. So I got it from her. And I think Early Years Outdoors as well was showing it on her page. And I follow her because she's amazing. So hi, Hannah. Tell us more about your fabulous book, Climb.
Oh, well, look, thank you so much for having me on. It's really exciting because we've just been having a little bit of a chat, haven't we? So
We have.
I've been catching up about your exciting book as well. And also just to say, I've got a touch of laryngitis, although I'm sounding a lot better. Earlier, I was sounding a bit like Marge Simpson. So hopefully, I'm not going to suddenly lose my voice.
I quite like husky voices anyway.
Yeah, good. Good. So yeah, Climb is my new book. I got it. I published it, self-published it under my imprint Little Bodie Books in November. It's my second book. It's my first book was Conker the Chameleon, and it was about talking about your feelings. And Climb is about difference and embracing your difference and embracing yours and other people's differences. And interestingly, when we were talking, I found out that you are also dyslexic.
Yeah.
So Climb is very loosely based on my kind of experience as growing up dyslexic and feeling like I couldn't quite do what was kind of asked of me, but then finding my own unique potential. Yeah,
absolutely. And I totally understand that. I mean, what I've got two very bright sisters, one older, one younger than me, so they always found everything really easy, really simple, getting really frustrated with me that I didn't. And really dyslexia in my school, like there was maybe one person that was, but because I was really chatty, I think people didn't really look at it that I probably had something like that I was just lazy, or I was just not focused, and I really wanted to. But yeah, it was a difficult world when I look back, not being able to achieve what the others achieved. I don't know whether you were like this, but I just started being naughty.
No, see, the thing is, I wasn't naughty. There's a lot of naughtiness in me waiting to get out, but I'm a bit of a people pleaser. But no, I had a really academic sister as well, and my school were, they were really supportive in that kind of trying to just give me extra English lessons and things like that. But in terms of I've done well, and I can read now, and my spelling is still atrocious, and my handwriting looks like it's a child's writing, but it's still what it did to me, in terms of my self-confidence and my self-belief. I think it did have an effect. I always felt a little bit different, and although I'm really chatty and really confident on the outside, I often question myself, and I do wonder if my learning had been nurtured in a way that encouraged me and really focused on what I was really good at. Would that have made me feel differently? I can be really insecure and self-questioning and self-doubting, and which actually made me think about you and your curriculum and stuff. So I think we've got loads in common. It's really weird.
Well, what you've done is you've applied all that experience that you've had at school, that feeling of not being good enough and not being able to achieve like the others do, because that is how you feel when you've got dyslexia. I mean, really, I've been researching dyslexia for so long now, and I've come to the conclusion that it is the fact that we are just teaching certain children the wrong way. It wasn't that you couldn't ever achieve, it's just that you weren't ever going to achieve from desk to board. You probably needed practical, visual and fun things, because you've got a creative mind. That's what dyslexic children and people are like. They're very creative. They've got to be thinking of really fun, crazy ideas all the time. That's just why a lot of entrepreneurs are dyslexic as well. But it sounds like I've applied mine into muddy puddles, hoping that I can create more fun, game-based educational opportunities for children at school. And you've done it through Climb, which is fascinating, isn't it?
I know, isn't it?
We've put those experiences into something so positive, and I hope that's a good example to lots of dyslexic people out there.
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted climb to be, you know. So climb is about this little elephant who lives in the Congo Basin, and they are, yay, they are all judged on that their worth is judged on whether they can climb or not. And obviously elephants can't climb,
No.
but Hetty decides she is going to fit into that box and she is going to win the annual climbing test. And I didn't want it to be a happy ending when suddenly she, you know, wins the annual climbing test, because that would be ridiculous. She's an elephant. But she finds her own unique way of shining, and everyone learns to appreciate that and see that that's, you know, a pretty useful ability to have. So
what
yeah.
I like about it is that halfway through you start to see her, and I read lots of self-help books to try and get my confidence and my mindset right. And halfway through it you see her sort of like thinking about, no, I need to change the way I'm thinking this, because everybody's telling me I should be doing this, but I need to be thinking on my own feet. And there's this lovely line that I love. It says, it's simple and it shouldn't take a genius to see. An elephant should not be judged on climbing up a tree. And that's exactly what you're talking about when it comes to dyslexia, that we're judged on how to learn like everybody else learns, but we don't. And it's as simple as that. We're never going to be able to climb up that tree because we're dyslexic and we don't learn that way. We've got to do it another way. And I loved that line. It really resonated on me, that. But yeah, I think it's beautiful that she's sort of like decided, it don't matter. I'm nothing like them lot. I'll do it my own way. It's like that kind of attitude.
Yeah, no, Hetty is a little, I do love her. There are some subtleties, like I sucked my thumb for years, and she,
oh my goodness, I still do it now.
Oh yeah.
My kids have it. You know, when I'm really tired, still have to suck my thumb.
I know, but it's self-soothing, isn't it?
And elephants suck
their thumb to self-soothe. They suck their trunks to self-soothe. So that's kind of little nod to kind of Hetty being me on the front cover. It's her like
I didn't realise that. Yeah, she's sucking. Oh, my children are gonna find this hilarious.
What is that? Oh my gosh.
When I'm tired, I still suck my thumb. I'm not ashamed of it either.
Well, see, I used to for years, and I also had a Sucky, like this little old manky vest. And it was my first, so I got a really big job in a TV studio as a floor manager. And I took my Sucky in my pocket, and it was just hidden in my pocket so I could touch it as a bit of kind of security. But I lost it, and I couldn't. It was the first job that I had people kind of working under me, and they were all older than me. And I couldn't say, look, guys, has anyone seen my manky piece of Sucky, because I'm your manager, but I still suck my thumb. So I lost it, and once that had gone, I couldn't suck my thumb anymore, because
because it came together, right?
Yeah, but I do sometimes, like when I'm feeling that instant security that it used to give me. I do miss it. I'm slightly jealous that you can.
I play with my hair. I still suck my thumb, but I play with my hair as well. That's kind of like an anxiety thing that I got when I was doing my GCSEs. They stressed me out so much that I started playing with the back of my hair, and still do it now. But yeah, well, there you go. We're all unique, as Klein says. So you've got this book. Tell us about the other books as well that you've got.
Okay, so I'm now also a trained person-centered counsellor, and I work with young people. I've also got a 3-year-old son, and that was kind of why I wanted to start to write books that that have those beautiful words and those messages that maybe I wish that I'd heard. You know, not that just a prince is going to come and sweep your feet, and that, you know, that it's a traditional happy ending and it all kind of goes right in the end, but like really exploring those just difficult topics, and ones that often so Conker the Chameleon is my first book, and I was just quite surprised at how we focus a lot of young people's learning around kind of, I don't know, all really important lessons, but they often get to my clinical room and they don't know kind of how to self-regulate. They don't know, you know, you say, oh, how are you feeling, and they can't even tell me what they're feeling. They can tell me what color the sky is and what noise a sheep makes, but how are you feeling? Absolutely no idea. And I was a bit like, oh my gosh, like what are we doing? Why, you know, it's the hardest. We leave people just to identify their own feelings, but it's one of the hardest things to do, and left to do that on your own, you can get into really negative coping strategies and really negative thoughts about yourself, and so working through those, and just a really gentle introduction and to those kind of topics I thought was really important. So Conquer the Chameleon is about talking about your feelings, and as well it has activities at the back.
Yeah, I like that. You've got the same with Climb as well. You've got some nice activities.
Yeah.
Really
So it's just a gentle, Conquer the Chameleon, it's got the My Chameleon tree. So what helps when I'm sad? I mean, I didn't know that at the age of 20 or 30. You know, what helps me when I'm feeling sad? And so when you're feeling sad, it's really difficult to then think, oh, well, actually, you know, maybe I need to go and have a cuddle with mummy, or maybe I need to do a picture, or, you know, and to just give them those kind of little tiny gems of information that they can then go back and use when they're feeling, who are my trusted adults, you know, so who can you talk to, who could, so yeah, it was just really things that seem quite simple, but actually I couldn't find really many places.
Great starting points, you know, as a parent myself, the great starting points to just have a little think about that and go, you know, have you ever felt like that before? And, you know, can you explain a situation where you felt like that before? I mean, they're the most beautiful conversations I have with my children, is when we're talking about feelings and thoughts and things like that. And often stuff will just pour out then. And you're like, oh gosh, didn't realize all of this you were thinking and feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and so these back pages in both Hetty and Climb, Climb and Conquer the Chameleon, are just to give those initial ideas of different things, but you can use them in any books, like lots of the questions, you know, oh, how do you think she was feeling at that point? How would you react similarly? Or so that was my idea, but I've got plans for other books, but as you know, working independently as a one-woman kind of crazy mother,
I'm do it all machine. That's what I call myself.
So I've got Conker's next book coming out, and that's coming out at some point this year. I'm just trying to work out when's best, and that's kind of got a bit more of a focus on the 5 steps to mental well-being, and also about kind of letting go of what doesn't serve you. So that's Conker, but he's got 2 little new friends. And I've got another book which I haven't even got an illustrator for or anything yet, but it's my favorite yet. And it's about a unicorn, and it's about self-care, because the other thing I realized is we just, you know, we make it's so important for children to be kind, but then I feel guilty doing anything for myself, like it's like I don't deserve anything, and so you give and give and give until like you get laryngitis, like I've got right now, but there's that kind of guilt.
And what we have to remember, Hannah, is that we're role models, and I'm the same. I will keep giving and serving to everybody. We're their role models, and if they don't see us relaxing and us taking time out, then they'll think that life's all about racing around at the fastest speed you can and getting as many jobs done as you can at the 24 hours that you've got. And it's like, it is important to just sort of show them how to look after themselves. And, you know, for me, it's like hot baths, and it's like, you know, on the odd occasion I ever get a spa break, running out the door, bye. But nice things, cup of tea, you know.
Well, exactly. It doesn't have to be, you know, long thing. I make candles, and I love doing that.
Nice.
Because I love the smell of them, and I love then giving them to other people. Gosh, that's not really for me then, is it? But you know, still I
love candles. I love them. I've got them all over the place, but I can't make them. But obviously we're all about the outdoors, and talking about self-care, obviously the outdoors has a massive impact on our well-being straight away. I did a full day yesterday working in the office. I did full day doing all these videos or whatnot. and I start to see my mood dropping, and it's because I'm a really active person. I'm not used to being in an office, so I have to move. And I saw myself being like, oh, I don't know whether that people are going to like this. Don't know, just get outside, Sarah. So I went outside, I had a quick walk, came back, felt 100% better. And I suppose it's like, sort of what you're doing about, trying to get people to feel better about themselves. What are your opinions on going outside, and how do you use it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree. Sometimes, it gets so stagnant, doesn't it, at home? It doesn't matter kind of where you are or what space you're in. Just being able to, I know with my son sometimes, when you're just like, run, like, look, we've just got to get out the house. It doesn't matter where we go, if we go and feed the ducks, or, just go for it. You just getting out, and it's being in nature. I think there's something about it, it grounds you, doesn't it? It brings you back to yourself. You're much more able, I'm more able to kind of concentrate in the moment sometimes with less distractions. You
connect better as well with your kids, don't you? Because I find that when I'm at home, I'll find a job to do, and then the kids are playing on their own, and and then I'll come back and play with them. But when we're outside, there's no choice. We're all connecting. We're all doing whatever we're doing outside, whether it's a walk or feeding the ducks or going for a bike ride or something like that.
No, that's us as well. Not the bike ride though. My husband's a bike rider. That sounds a little bit too active for me. I mean, I've got two dogs, and in fact, I think when my father passed away, and I didn't have a son or my husband, or just knowing that I had to get up and get out because of Twiglet was
Twiglet. Oh, that's a lovely name. What's the other dog called?
He feels very demasculated by it. He's like, come on, mum, it might have been Ripper or something.
So it's Twiglet, and what's the other dog called?
Casper. Casper's adopted. I didn't name Casper. I would have called him something equally ridiculous, but so but Casper wasn't here at that time. So Twiglet got me out, and it just, there's something about being outside.
Well, for me, it was obviously I was struggling in school, and the same was for me. I had a dog, and I just didn't really gel with many people at school. I was a bit of a boy girl. I liked hanging around with the boys. I found the girls too much drama. It was always too much for me. So I never really was that girl that went out and had play dates with the girls or things like that. I weren't bothered about makeup, hair, stuff like that. I was more interested in going horse riding. And if I mucked out the stables all weekend, I got a free riding lesson. So I pretty much did that all weekend. But I had my dog. And so I literally, looking back a bit, all I did was go outside. And that was what helped me get my confidence back from the full days at school that were just pretty miserable for me. So it's like, that's another avenue why I went down the muddy puddle route, I think, as well. I think sometimes you do things that you don't really think about too much. It's in your subconscious and it comes out in later life.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally agree with that. I think it does, doesn't it? It's only kind of recently that I've started writing, that I've started to realize why I've got here and kind of what got me here, and the process that I've been through. And also having children myself, and realizing kind of what worked for me and what didn't.
That's just craziness. Well, the one was fine. It was when Florence came along that life got crazy in our household.
See, this is the same. I'm just at that step. So I've got Bodhi, and he is just my absolute world. But I've also got two dogs. And Twiglet was brilliant, and then I always thought one dog, two dog, and then the second dog came along, and it was not one dog, two dogs. It was like that. It was like one dog, 100, and they're so naughty together, and they run off. If I walk them separately, they're really well behaved. Together, they are just an absolute nightmare. And now I've got a toddler as well. I'm just like, oh, is it going to be the same?
I don't know. I mean, it's just crazy life, isn't it? Now that mine are a bit older, so mine are 5 and 7 now. They're a bit more independent. I do miss all the baby stuff because early years is like a big passion of mine. But it's craziness, but it's also wonderful as well. The little one-liners they'll come out with, and they'll just sit down and say, "Go, do you know what, Mum? I love you." And you go, all worth it, kids. All worth it. Being as I just got up at 5 a.m. that morning. Thanks, guys. But it's crazy. I mean, actually, a class of 30 is a lot easier than 2 of my own children. So
really,
Absolutely. Mine don't listen to me at all. Don't listen. But there you go. Right, Hannah, could you tell everybody how they can find out how to follow you, if you've got a website, where you sell your books, that sort of thing?
Yeah. Okay. So I do have a website. It's kind of a bit in the process. That's www.littlebodybooks.co.uk. Mainly, Amazon is the beast that is selling my books. I've got like local shops as well. I know Baby Purr and Little Bup were also stocking my books, but yeah, it's that Amazon beast,
Get
isn't
on
it?
Amazon, yeah.
That it seems to work through. I'm also on Instagram, Little Bodhi Books, and at h.j.peckham. Although I've been having an absolute, just before the launch of Climb, I just had a bit of a nightmare, and I think I'm still currently going through kind of problems with Instagram, which is just a real pain. But I'm still plugging away, and in that triangle of pain, trying to get everything working. But yeah, come and find me there.
Do you go to schools, Hannah? Because I know a lot of the schools quite like having authors come in and read the book and have a little chat with the children. Do you do anything like that?
You know what, that because of coronavirus, I haven't been doing that, but I am just in talks with 3 different schools.
Ooh.
So I will be going hopefully, and then continuing to go into schools. I'm getting a little leaflet printed with all my books, and then also some of the activities that are in the books on the back of the leaflet, so the children can take them home. So yeah, that's what I'm looking to do this year.
Is there an email address if they want to inquire?
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, I've got this laryngitis, so I'm coughing, which is really not good. It's hello@littlebodybooks.co.uk. But yeah, you can find all of that on Instagram or on the website as well.
Lovely. Well, thank you, Hannah. Thank you for your time.
It's
and
been
everybody,
so
go and get the
lovely
book.
chat
Go
to
and use it
you.
in your classes. Let's go and inspire the children to understand differences and to support one another. So thank you ever so much, Hannah. Bye.